Welcome into this episode of Everything Has History. In this episode, I'm going to be reviewing the new Netflix movie, Seven Kings Must Die. It is based on the Last Kingdom series on Netflix, as well as Bernard Cornwell's historical fiction series. Just so you are aware, I will be discussing spoilers from the movie and series as well, so if you don't want to hear those, then click away. Anyway, getting into it, The Last Kingdom is one of my favorite series of all time. And it's a pretty good companion piece to Vikings, which is another show that takes place roughly around the same time. So the show picks up several years after the events of Season 5, and Season 5 was the last season of the show. What I really loved about this movie was its authenticity to the characters and the lore that was put forth in the series. And you could tell it was likely shot directly after they had wrapped the fifth and final season. So I kind of tend to think that movies made after a show to wrap things up tend to feel quite different from the show itself. But Seven Kings does not. It feels the same as though you're watching a new episode. In this movie, we also get several big returns, including Father Pierlic, who is one of Uhtred's most trusted friends and frankly one of the biggest badasses in the show. We also get Finan and Sitric, who are Uhtred's most trusted advisors, warriors, and friends. And then we also get a return from Aldhelm, who was another of Uhtred's friends and had one of the best story arcs in the series. In the beginning, he was a kind of a conniving advisor to the king of Mercia for a long time, but then switched his allegiance after he saw the king degrade into madness and immorality. And unfortunately, Aldhelm is killed in the movie, and I was pretty sad about that, as Aldhelm was one of my favorite characters. But one character that I wish had made it into this movie was Hilda, and Hilda was one of Uhtred's most trusted friends, and they shared many conversations about faith, morality, and duty, and she was a major guiding light in his journey. So the battle in the end is also phenomenal. It lasts 21 minutes and is pure carnage as only the Last Kingdom can pull off. One of the hallmarks of the show is its massive battle scenes, and in the movie, this is the Battle of Bannockburn, and it features an alliance of 5 Scottish and Irish rulers going up against Athelstan and Uhtred. So Athelstan at this point, who is the son of King Edward, who passed away at the beginning of the movie, has come to his senses after being betrayed by his slimy advisor Ingolmundr, who was working behind his back to cause this massive conflict and cut Uhtred out of the picture. This battle, though, has it all. Big swords fights, axe deaths, arrows, spears, and a game-changing cavalry charge at the end. Sadly, though, our hero Uhtred is mortally wounded, and he grips Serpent's Breath, his sword, before his trip to Valhalla. He is pulled from the field by his friends, and as they await his inevitable death, Uhtred comes out of his room and swears an oath to Athelstan that Northumbria will join England, thus uniting England for the first time in the series, and King Athelstan has now solidified his grandfather Alfred's dream. Throughout the series, Alfred's main goal was to create a single kingdom of England and relied on Uhtred to fulfill that goal. However, Alfred died before that happened. So in essence, Uhtred fulfilled both his destiny and Alfred's at the same time. And as Uhtred stumbles back to his bed to die, he opens the door to Valhalla. At the table are some important and familiar characters. First, we see Brida, and Brida was Uhtred's on and off again lover, friend, and enemy throughout the series, and she was killed by Uhtred in the final season, but their relationship in the series went through many ups and downs. Then we see Heston, and Heston was another great character in the show, many funny moments, really a thorn in the side of Uhtred the entire time. But Uhtred early on had saved Heston from being killed, only to see Heston become this antagonist throughout. And Heston would always seem to align himself with every top dog antagonist. But in Season 5, he did help Uhtred by sacrificing himself in the end. Then we have, most importantly, Ragnar, who is Uhtred's adopted father. And after the defeat of Uhtred's biological father, Ragnar takes the younger Uhtred as a hostage, but ends up raising him in the Danish pagan ways alongside Brida. And by the end, Ragnar becomes more of a father to Uhtred, even more than his biological one. It was super cool to see these characters come back, and I kind of wish, though, that we had got some of his other foes in the halls of Valhalla as well. I think that would have been a nice touch. But unfortunately, with Uhtred's death, it appears the Last Kingdom series on TV is over. I felt it ended in an appropriate way, and I was really sad when Uhtred died. He's been one of my favorite fictional characters ever since I started watching the show. And overall, I would highly recommend this movie along with the TV series and the books they are based on. They feature great action, humor, brilliant dialogue, and intriguing storylines. So if you're looking for a companion piece to Vikings or some good historical television, I'd give it a shot. So once again, thank you for watching this review of The Last Kingdom, 7 Kings Must Die from Everything Has History. Leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the movie, and if you've seen or read any of the Last Kingdom series and what you thought of that. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next Everything Has History.